to the top. Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm about ready. What's going on, everybody? It's Lavish T. Williams. Tonight we on the Biker Podcast, and I got a guy on here. I got a guy on here, man. Listen, um, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, so we got an individual on here, and I've been trying to get this guy for a while, man. I finally got him, so he on here. If you're a biker, let me hold on a second. I hear the audio coming in from somewhere. Let me see where I got this audio coming in at. You got your oh, hold on a second. Got this audio coming in. I gotta kill that audio. Can you hear that audio, Ellis?
I can hear you.
Let me see. Anyhow, man, I got this guy, man, good guy, man. I've been following him. I've been watching him. We've been moving around for quite some time on the bike set. So I want to bring him on here, and I want to have him introduce himself, man. He like I say, he a good guy, man. I've been watching him for quite some time, and we've been communicating through each other through social media and all of that cool stuff, man. So I'm about to bring him on here, man. Ellis, can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, my
Let me
brother.
make sure I can hear. Make sure he ain't on mute. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I
cool,
can hear you.
man. Cool. You can hear me, man. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself to the people. The floor is yours, man. It's all you.
All right. Well, first of all, for the people that don't know me, my bike name is Easy. So please forgive me. I'm just now getting over COVID, so I still have a little kind of weaselly little voice going on. But a couple of days ago, I found out I had COVID, and I am doing 1,000% better once I got on the medication and everything. But what I did was I started a motorcycle um, Facebook group called Men and Women Love to Ride Motorcycles. Um, and the thing about this group, it's just a conduit to allow you to escape and explore different segments of the bike community from all over the United States, if not all over the world. Facebook and social media is no substitute for riding your motorcycle. But if you get a chance to get a glimpse at other people's lives, how they live in their bike life, it definitely motivates you to get out there and ride and great ideals and network and things of that nature. So that's what I created. It's been 9 years now. It's been very successful. We are very selective in the people that we allow in our group. We try to allow only like-minded people. So I think we got about 32,000 folks. It's not going to appeal to everybody. It's vanilla by design. We want to keep it light. We want to keep it fun. We don't want to have a lot of the hard aspects of motorcycle life inside the group, as far as the protocols, as far as conversations of, harsh conversations about law enforcement and things of that nature. We just want to keep it light, just allow people to have fun, enjoy themselves, to exchange ideas, to look at each other motorcycles, to present the way that they do their bike life is what it all comes down to.
No, absolutely, man. And I mean, it's cool that I got a chance to get you on the podcast tonight because we communicate, we be in these groups with all these different people. We see everybody that post stuff on Facebook, on social media from different groups, and we never really get a chance to kick it with the individual, to know who we're talking to. And that's why I got you on here, man, just so we can just vibe, man, talk about the whole motorcycle set and how the group started and what kind of bike you ride, what got you into biking, what got you into the whole motorcycle thing, if you in a club, not in a club, if you a local rider, highway rider, all those different things, man. We get a chance tonight to really just just talk about it. Where are you actually located at? Are you in Virginia or Maryland?
Virginia Beach. I used to spend a lot of time in the Maryland area, so a lot of people really thought that I lived in Maryland.
Okay.
Every weekend I would get on my motorcycle, I ride up to the DMV area, and people in the DMV area actually thought I lived there, but I actually live in Virginia Beach. I just connected with a lot of people in that area, and it was just so simple, a 3 hour ride, go and hang out all day, 3 hour ride back. So, that's how a lot of people assume that I'm from the DMV area, but I actually live in Virginia Beach.
Now I don't know
So
about
how
that
do we get
area. How far is it?
go ahead?
How far is Maryland and Virginia Beach? What's the distance?
Probably about 130 miles. I'll say about 130 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
You was doing a lot of
Yeah,
running.
it's about 130, I'm thinking, from the area. But how do we start this group? Well, first of all, I was in an MC club, and I don't want to mention the name.
Okay,
And
that's
I
cool.
started a protocol group. I started a protocol group. And in this protocol group, I started learning about MC protocol. And the more that I learned about MC protocol, the more I learned that the club that I was in was not nowhere near within the limits of protocol. And I would go to the club and say, hey, according to protocol, this is the way it should be done. And nobody wanted to change. So I ended up leaving the club. I was only in the club for a short time. I ended up leaving the club, and I maintained having that protocol group for a while. But the thing about protocol is it's not fun.
Okay.
Once you start talking MC protocol and politics, it is not fun. And that group really became a burden. It was so heavy on my heart. Every day, people arguing and fussing, and I'm getting inboxes and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It was too much. So one day I said, something? I think we probably had maybe like 2 or 3 thousand people in the group. It took me a day and a half. I deleted everybody out of it, and I deleted the protocol group, and I started a new group. And then I set up the ground rules, no protocol, because I wanted to make it fun. I didn't want the arg and fuss. In the protocol group I had, it was people threatening each other and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I thought, like, wow, somebody mess around and get killed, you know, over a group that I started, and how would I feel? So, we started Men and Women Love to Ride Motorcycles based off the premises of what we saw in the protocol group. And like I said, a phrase that I like that I've coined, it's vanilla, it's corny by design. You should be able to come into the Men and Women Love to Ride Motorcycle group and have a good time. You should never be in a situation where you arguing and fussing about anything. The biggest arguments we have is Harleys versus Indian, or Harleys versus Polaris, that
Victories.
type of thing. Right, right. Those are the biggest arguments that we have. But when you get down to the nitty gritty of MC protocol, I think that's the type of thing that you need to, you know, get on your set, get with your dominant, understand your protocol, the way that they understand protocol on your set, because protocol on your set might be different on another person's set. And that's how you have that confusion and all that animosity and that arguing back and forth. So we just made it real vanilla, and we just try to have a lot of fun. And, in the process of doing all of that, we start doing a yearly, I don't call it an annual, I just call it a meetup.
Okay.
And we do it every year in Ocean City. I've seen where one year we probably had, the year before COVID, we probably had about 3,000 bikes out there.
Mm.
Three. It was incredible. It was incredible. The year before COVID, we had about 3,000 motorcycles came out that Saturday for the day party. It was as far as the eye could see was motorcycles. It was incredible. And then, after COVID, we probably had a couple hundred. Last year, we probably had like 500, 600, and this year we probably cracked, getting about. It'll be April again. We'll probably have another 500 to 600, 700 people show up. So we just do it all for fun. It's just all for the love of this lifestyle. Um, to ensure that people stay informed on education as far as safety equipment, riding techniques. Um, I just think sometimes if you come in a group and you apprehensive about riding and you read the stories of uh, other people riding, it motivates you to get out there and ride your motorcycle. You know, like in my case, I rode from a few years ago, 2017. We left here to go to Cincinnati, Ohio. It rained from West Virginia to Cleveland. No, excuse me, from West Virginia to Ohio. That Saturday, coming out the hotel, we zooming around. This lady cut me off. The bike low sided me, threw me under the bike, pulled my quad tendon out, and I ended up having to fly home, have
Wow.
surgery and everything. And they brought my bike. It so happened one of the guys that came with us, he brought a trailer, and he had enough room to put my bike on the trailer. So I flew home to have surgery and all that good stuff get squared away, taken care of. And they brought my bike back. But ever since then, I've been apprehensive about riding, apprehensive because I don't want to be in another accident. I don't want to have to go through those surgeries back over again. So I kind of put limits on how I ride and where I would ride to. But last week before last, I'm looking at the Daytona trip. Since then, I've some trips to Key West. Me and one of my partners, Mike Hill, he originally from Alabama, like I am. We rode to Key West together, and then we went to big sales event last
May.
May in Tampa. Me and him rode down together. My friend Mike Hill, he from Alabama, like I am. We both retired military, so we rode down together. So I was trying to get somebody to go to Daytona with me this year. Nobody wanted to ride down, so I said, "What the hell?" Virginia Beach, Daytona, 700 and some miles. I hopped on the bike, rode down, you know, had a great time, hopped on the bike and ran back, rode back. But what I learned throughout that process is that a lot of those apprehensions and fears that I had built up, that because I went down,
Hmm.
I had to fight through them. I didn't have another bike to my left or to my right that I could look to if I got apprehensive, if I got nervous. I had to really fight through it. So those are the type of stories that you read about in Men and Women Love to Ride Motorcycles that allow you to get motivated to get out there and ride your bike.
Nah, man, that's cool. That's definitely cool, man. Let me ask you this question. Um, how long have you been riding a motorcycle? And what got you into motorcycles?
All right. Well, I started riding in 2008.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you what got me. This was got me into riding motorcycles. I got a job. I retired from the Navy. And I got this job, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a headhunter, and I was making a lot of money.
A headhunter. Okay. You know what's a headhunter?
Well, I was a recruiter, and what I would do is I would go to companies and say if they said they needed an engineer, they said they needed an engineer, I would find them an engineer, and they would pay me 20% of their gross income for the year. So, say for instance, we'll just a crazy number. Say if it's $100,000, you know, at 20%, that's a $20,000 fee
Okay.
for that
Okay.
for that person. So I was making really good money, and we had got a all my commission checks hit at one time. I got a $24,000 payday. It's no lie. I never had that much money at one time in my life, and a pay cycle. So I had a $24,000 payday. And I said to myself, like, what are you gonna go do? Let's go spend some of this money today. I just thought to myself, like, oh hell, I'm going to buy a motorcycle. Never even rode a motorcycle. Never rode a motorcycle a day in my life. I'm like, look, I'm going to buy me a motorcycle
Yeah.
because I made this money. I went down to the dealership. They had a Vulcan 900 2008 for like $5,900. I paid cash money for it, rode it for like 6 months. And then I got that Suzuki M109. And then I rode the Suzuki M109 for maybe like 2 years, and then I got the Hog.
You got the hog and ain't looked back
Yeah.
since.
Say again?
I say you got that hog and ain't looked back since.
Nah, nah, nah. I'm just saying, um, and I'm being honest with you. I never really even given Harley a thought until I watched. It's a video, Harley All Stars. And if you watch it on YouTube, it's the one with King Cheese. I got another story, so many connections to this bike life. King Cheese and Snow Breed was arguing back and forth about racing or whatever. So King Cheese it's funny how this happened. King Cheese's brother name is Daryl. Daryl is a member of my crew. We ain't in no club, we a crew.
Okay.
So I watched this video, didn't know who Daryl was. I watched this video. I see Breed and King Cheese, Snow Breed and King Cheese arguing back and forth. I watched the entire video. The way them guys in Atlanta was doing those Harleys, I'm like, man, I want a hog. I eventually end up getting a hog, and by coincidence, King Cheese, which he ended up passing a few years ago after Kings of the South had their event, uh, brother named Daryl, I met him. He live up here. He retired military like I am. So me and him became really good friends. And, it's just a coincidence how I saw that video, which had King Cheese in it. And I ended up meeting his brother Daryl up here in Virginia, and me and him became friends. So after that, man, I fell in love with that Harley lifestyle. And I think that'll be a part of what I do for the rest of my bike life.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see how that Harley stuff get in your blood and it don't leave out too easy.
Nah, it don't.
So you getting out here in the set, and we don't have to mention no names or anything like that. But you coming out here, what made you want to join a motorcycle club? For me, I joined a motorcycle club because I was around them. I was constantly riding with them. I almost got to a point where I was the oddball because everyone in the crew was, in a club and me hanging out at the motorcycle clubs. I was the only one without a vest on, and then I was doing a lot of stuff within the motorcycle club. So I said, well, what the heck? But what made you, join a club, or was it a club that y'all kind of formed yourself? What was, the club life from your perspective, like?
Well, I joined a club that had roots out in New York City. And our particular chapter, like I said, once I started that protocol group and I started to really understand protocol, and I really understood that some people really take this MC thing so serious, so I have to tip my hat to them. Once I left my club because they just was not following the guidelines of protocol. I was not going to allow myself to get caught out there and get my ass kicked while they playing. And I know these people out here serious about it. So what I've done at that point, once I left the club, it's very rare that you would ever see me with a vest on.
No, but
But one thing you would never see.
what was the reason, like, before you left the club? What drew you? What drew you to a club and to join a motorcycle
Oh,
club?
just the same thing. Just being around. Once I got into the bike life and going to the bike parties and just seeing the people in the lure of just being in a club and all the props and respect that you get just being in a club. It's a cool thing. It's really, really cool. And it's for I suggest everybody don't form a club. You go join an established club. At least try it out. But like I said, once I got into that protocol group, once I established it and I started understanding protocol, I really realized is that, some of these people out here with vests on, they playing when some of these people really taking it serious. And I think that I would be the type of person, I'm the type of person that if I'm gonna put a vest on, it's for life. You know what I mean? I don't want to change out colors. I want to be in it for life. And I just don't know if I want to commit myself to make that commitment again as far as being in the club. But one thing I always will do is respect the MC clubs, respect the MC lifestyle. One of the things, I used to have a novelty vest where I have like a navy patches on the back. Once I understood protocol, I cut all my patches off the back of my vest. My vests are black, all black. I'm not trying to emulate. I'm not trying to simulate what MCs do. Allow the MCs to have their lane, and as an independent rider, respect their lane and stay out of their lane and stay in your place. So that's what I try to do. I think that one thing about this lifestyle, um, people reinvent themselves so much.
Yeah.
They reinvent themselves when they get a new bike. They go from a sport bike to a Harley or a cruiser. Now they somebody different. They go from RT to an MC, and now they somebody different. They go from an MC to a OMC, then they somebody different. They go from an OMC to a one percenter, they somebody different. What I've tried to do is I've tried to be that same easy, that same E from day one. Approachable, someone that's willing to learn, someone that respects the lifestyle, someone that respects the culture. Uh, and someone that hopefully people in our group will see how much respect we have for the culture, and we'll continue to build a culture. You know, MCs and independents can go coexist as one. You know, we can coexist.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And to go back on what you said, I like what you said as far as once you learn about the MCs, about the protocol. You got a lot of guys out here, they don't know about it. They haven't been taught, nor have they learned about it. And this MC stuff, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Everybody don't have to be a part of an MC. You can definitely have the same fun by being an independent rider and just enjoying your motorcycle. And when you say that, the politics, it's a gang of politics when it comes down to this stuff. And when you put these rags on and you're in these clubs, you really got to know what you sign up for, because every club is not a party and have fun club. Every
Absolutely.
club, they are based off of a different foundation. And some of these guys, like you say, man, you might go to war for something that's you don't even have anything to do with, that's out of your league, out of your power, out of your concern. But because you wear them colors, man, you're held to be that frontline soldier. And I understand the people that's not cut out for it. I can respect the person that can say, hey, this is not for me. I signed up to have fun, to enjoy my motorcycle. I didn't sign up to go out here fighting, stabbing, stumping, shooting, doing whatever. That's I can admire that, and you saying that, because you get people, and you've seen it, they join these clubs and they're the biggest guys ever. But then when stuff gets serious, they will run and they will go the other way. They
Yeah,
did, because they didn't know, like, hey man, it really gets serious out here, man. And people really do take, they rags in they club and they motorcycle stuff, they take it to heart and they take it serious. And you have some guys that take it way more
absolutely.
serious than the next. And it's a big deal, man. So you definitely have to know what you're signing up for. Not just to say, hey, it's a group of guys and we riding and we doing this. And even with clubs that don't partake in foolishness, they never know when they might be a part of some foolishness that's going to take place. Just being the little fellas and getting bullied.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot, and you have to be
But it,
strong enough to handle it and deal with it accordingly when it comes.
absolutely. I just think that being the founder of Men and Women Love to Ride Motorcycles, I've had the presence or company of all segments of this bike life. From you know, I know a lot of people, man. I know a lot of folks. A lot of people know me. So like I said, what I try to do is I try to stay in my lane and just do what I do, and I respect everybody else, as far as what they do, and yeah, they'll never have to worry about me. Um, it's I, I watch some of these biker shows and um I see some independent riders criticizing MCs, and I'm like, how can you criticize when you ain't even a part of that? You know what I mean? You can't criticize something that you're not even a part of.
Right.
You still
And
here,
they
Lavish? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, and they don't have that understanding because they're on the outside, or they only see what they see from the outside, and they don't know the
But I would
history.
I would never do that. I would never do that because I'm telling you, I didn't had those phone calls, uh, just from stuff that happened in my group before. You know, you know. Hey, I've had some phone calls, man. Some of those kind of scary, but I think that
You
sometimes at the end
serious?
of the day,
Kind of scary.
yeah, but at the end of the day, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. So you talk like men, you show respect. I'm definitely gonna be respectful because I ain't out here trying to be no tough guy, man.
Right.
That's one thing that I'm telling you right now, and I think that's a great thing about aging. I'll tell people all the time. Hell, I never cried until I was damn near 50 years old. I'm 56 now. Hell, I cry all the time. You know, I'm just telling you straight up. So I ain't trying to be the tough guy. My tough guy days are over with, long over with. Only thing I want to do is just enjoy life, ride my Harley, go to different events, meet people, present a platform that allows people to express themselves, to communicate, to network, and go from there. You know, but the young guys, if that's what they want to do, more power to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, more power to them. So listen, let me ask you about the bike set in your area, man. What kind of bike set do you guys have, man? This is a large a bike set in your town.
It's complicated. I'm gonna say that it's very complicated here. I don't. When I first got on the set, I went to a lot of bike related stuff, and it got to be kind of dangerous here for a while. And so I kind of tried to kind of scale back. I just think that everybody is trying to carve out their niche. As far as what belongs to who, and people choosing sides, and it just makes it very difficult. I just think that the thing I'm telling you, the things that frustrates the hell out of me. I go to an event outside of the 757. I see so many bikers from the 757 down in Tampa at sales event, but you can't get half of them support an event in your backyard.
No, no,
That's unsaid.
I think that's
That's unsaid.
yeah, I think that's going around in a lot of people's towns.
It's it's
Yeah.
it's, it's frustrating to me. I'm like, something we don't, if we can get on our bikes to ride to wherever, you know, why can't you come a block, 2 blocks in our set to make to where we can have a really nice event? I think realistically, we only have in this area maybe 2 or 3 really big events.
Okay.
But then, I've been to the DMV area, and I see people from down there up, from down here up there or North Carolina. I see all these clubs down in North Carolina, and I'm like, why can't we do the same thing in our city? Why can't we have a signature or event that's going to draw massive amounts of people to our town so we can show that we have a really great set. And that's something as an independent rider, it's nothing that I can do anything about it, because I'm not in that circle. But I would love for MC to step up and say, "Hey, let's try to put this together. Let's try to put a big signature event in the 757. Let's draw bikers from out of town. Let's show these people that we can have major fun and major functions like they have in Atlanta and North Carolinas and the DMVs and the Jerseys and the New Yorks and places like that."
I think you can do it. I don't think you got to
Well,
wait on a club. I think if you just like you do your ride in April, I think you can do the same thing yourself, and it might work out even better because if you did it as an individual, you don't have to worry about clubs that don't like this club and warring with this club. It'll just be bikers as a group,
people,
and you
bikers.
know, I think
Well,
I think you can do it.
we did a little something last year. We did it here, and we had good numbers. But man, we just caught some bad rain that weekend. So we had a good number of people. I think it would have been a lot better if it wouldn't have rained. But I could just remember back in the day, and I'm not gonna say the club name, but I can remember back in the day, this one club, they should throw parties. I'm telling you, everybody who was anybody was up in this camp.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, I like to see that because I'm trying to tell you, man, I love being around motorcycles. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I love it. I love being around motorcycles. I love being in that environment. So to me, it's what I don't understand. If you're at an event and if motorcycles is what you profess that you love, and you got the ladies there and everybody having a good time, why are you mean mugging at whoever? You know what I'm saying? Hell, when I'm on my motorcycle, I'm around my motorcycle, I'm smiling because I'm trying to tell I'm having the time of my life. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I could care less. I ain't trying to be the tough guy. I ain't trying to mean mug. I ain't trying to intimidate. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but like I said, I think a lot of that comes with, and I get it. I'm older. I'm an older guy. I'm not one of these young guys. So probably when I was in my 30s and 20s and probably early 40s, I probably would have been the same way. But hell, I'm 50. I'm just saying, I'm 56. I look at it different now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful to God that I have the means to have a motorcycle, to be able to enjoy life, to have relatively decent health. Those are things that motivates me. Trying to intimidate and scare people. I just don't see where that's even relevant. And the thing that is you got to remember also, with social media and formats like you have, has really bridged the gap to so many different uh sets, so many different people. Because the bottom line, regardless if you an MCA and MCB, if you on social media, it would be some common ground that you guys could meet and have to allow you to get along. And the most singular thing that we all have in common is motorcycles. So if we all love motorcycles, that's what we should focus it on. The love of the motorcycle. It's one of the things I think about. I want to say his name was Rob on All Riders Radio. And I think he passed away from COVID a few years ago. And I was listening to it years ago. He would say that when him and one of his club brothers would have a beef or they would have a disagreement, what they would do is they get on their bikes, fill up a tank, run a tank out. If they were still arguing and fussing, get on it, fill up the tank again, run another tank out. And as they rode, that animosity, them hard feelings that they have for each other just dissipated because they focused on riding a motorcycle. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I definitely
So
get
if
it.
riding motor, say again,
No, I say I definitely get it.
yeah. So if our singular focus is on motorcycles, let's let what we be about focus on the motorcycles. and everything else gonna fall into place. You know, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man. I definitely agree. Um, when it come down to highway riding, man, you being in a club or without even being in the club, just being amongst different individuals that you're close to. And when I say close to, let's talk about just close to in your town that you ride. You ride, which you might ride to the bar, or I don't know where you guys hang out at in your town or whatnot. But when you take those same individuals and y'all get on the highway and go out of town, tell me about your bonding experience. Cause I always say that when you get on that motorcycle, you learn so much more about that person that you ride with when you get on that highway. When you going somewhere 200 miles, 300 miles, 500 miles, you learn something different from that individual. And it builds a different type of bond. Even when you're in a pack with guys that you just seen from afar, when y'all riding together, y'all making sure everybody is safe. The conversation is different. I from personal experience feel it's a different type of bond. But from your perspective, man, I need you and want you to share your experience from bonding and being on the highway with different riders.
Well, what it is that, like I said, I'm not in a club, but I call it ourselves a crew. It's about 13 of us, all retired military, older guys, um, all Harleys except for one Victory. Um,
So y'all let the victory ride
and
with y'all.
yeah, we let him. And actually, his bike broke down like 2 weeks ago, so
Oh man,
hopefully he'll be getting.
I know y'all had all the jokes too.
I was actually in Daytona when it broke down, but they took pictures and put it on our little chat, joking him
Yeah.
about his bike. But yeah, it definitely allow you to establish a bond and to protect and understand how each other ride when you ride in a pack. And we've been riding together for a long time. I think, excuse me, one of the worst ass chewings I got from, once again, King Cheese brother, rest in peace. His name is Daryl. We had M109s, and we was riding to Charlottesville, a ride in the Blue Ridge Parkway. Blue Ridge Parkway. So we went up from Virginia Beach. So I take off out of the pack on the M109 because the bike had so much power, and I didn't look behind me. And when I took off on those little kit cars, or those little, the little cars, the little guys, uh, the little cars, little Mazdas or whatever little
Oh,
car, he took off
like
behind
a
me.
tuner car, like a tuner car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he took off behind me. I didn't see him, and when I got out of the bike, the guy had to almost endo from hit me. So uh, when the other bikes caught up with me, they all pointed, go to the side of the, pull over the side of the road. We pulled a formation on the side of the road. I'd never been chewed out so much in my life. But they chewed me out because they showed me, number one, they cared about me, because they look, if you're gonna take off like that, you need to look behind you. You don't know what car behind you. The car damn near hit you in the back, and you didn't even notice it because he took off behind you. But what what that allowed us to do is that really showed me how much they cared about me, to and to help me understand the mistakes that you can make out on the road could easily end your life. you know. And it's just like anything, being in a crew, being in a club, it's basically the same thing, except for we don't have no bylaws and we don't pay no dues, you know. Um, we do a lot of rides, we hang out together, we drink together, we smoke cigars together. We spend a lot of our life just hanging out together. And it's 13 of us, and we definitely bond and develop relationships. And just like in an MC and being in a crew, some people closer than others, and sometimes people argue, and sometimes you do have an occasional dust up. But at the end of the day, something, you still family at the end of the day, you know. So I definitely had the opportunity to bond and build relationships as far as meeting people riding on the road.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man. No doubt. That's beautiful. That's peaceful, man. I'm still tripping on your city, man, not having a big bike thing, man. I mean, I'm always hearing, and I say, let me go to Maryland. I got a cousin. She lives in Maryland, and from what I understand, you what is it like three connecting cities or states that's like right there?
Right. You got DC, Maryland, and Virginia right together. Now, what I'm saying is, we have one signature event, and I'm telling you, we got these young ladies called the Beautiful Minds. I went to their annual. They can have a couple thousand people in their annual. It's crazy. But other than that, we don't get a lot of big events. We just don't get a lot of big events.
Mm.
Like I said, I think that we deserve that. I think we as a set, as a community, as a biker community in a whole, we deserve to have a big signature event during the summertime, not while it's cold, where you can see thousands and thousands of motorcycles, people having a good time hanging out, being around the motorcycles. I'm talking about you have sporadic get togethers, a couple hundred people here and there, but you know something, we've got the numbers and people in this area that we could pull off a huge event that you see in other states.
Okay.
And not to mention, go ahead.
No, so what I was gonna say in Detroit, we got a large bike community, and I only know what we do in Detroit. So when I base, motorcycles, and I go to other cities, my expectation is like, wow, man, where's the bike set? Where's the bike scene? I think it's gonna be huge, like a Atlanta or like a South Carolina or California. How big is your city in your area? Because that plays a factor too. Detroit is a big city, and that makes
No,
up.
but you got to,
Huh?
I would think that, right here in the 757 or Hampton Roads areas is seven cities. You got Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Suffolk, Portsmouth, Newport News, and Hampton. So, I don't have an exact amount of number of people in this area, but it's a few million people in this general area. So
Oh,
we have
okay,
the people to
okay. So
do it.
so it is big.
You know,
Okay.
we have the people to do it. I just think that we've been divided so much, and people don't trust each other, that it just really makes it difficult for people to come together. I just think that's what it all comes down to. I just think that somebody's going to step out on faith and be that leader. And the thing that is, to do something like that, you can't rely on an independent rider to do that. It's got to be somebody with colors on their back that has that credibility that people going to follow. And they say, okay, then let's get together, let's do this thing, and let's bring this community together. It can't be done by, I know people say, AE, you can do it. I can't do it, because I know my place. I know my place,
No, as long as you know your
so it's
place, that's
nothing that.
that's a start. That makes a difference. You know your place.
So for something like that to happen, it's got to start with the MCs. And like I said, I would love for them to do it. Like I said, I think our city deserve it. I would just like to have an event where you got people, just like for sale event. You got people coming all over going down to
All
Tampa.
over.
Hell, I rode down there last year. I had a ball. I had a ball. you know. So I went to Kings of the South one time down in Atlanta. I went one
Yeah.
time. I had a great time. I had a great time. So I would just like to see something like that here in the 757 Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area, and and go from there.
Nah, hey, you spark it, you talk it, you might, make it happen. Somebody might pick up and they hear it and they listen and they like, you know what, that don't sound like a bad idea. I want to tell you about me myself. I am in a motorcycle club. However, the same feeling that you have and the way that you talk about looking for someone to bring a big event. When I say that you can do it yourself, I say that because me, myself, without a motorcycle club, I'm planning the same thing you're talking about wanting to have in your city. I'm planning a 3-day weekend. I have done car and bike shows for the last few years, but now I'm stepping the game up and I'm doing a 3-day weekend, a Friday through Sunday. I'm gonna put the flyer up here too. So I got on here the Lavish Biker Bash weekend, and it consists of a meet and greet on that Friday at my motorcycle club, open to everyone, independent riders, outlaws, um, riding clubs, social clubs, everybody. Great environment, great vibe. Leave the egos at home. Saturday, I got a day party. It's going on at the Harley dealership, sound competition bike show. Saturday night, we got a main party, a big party, a trophy party at that. And then Sunday, I'm doing a farewell brunch. That Monday is the holiday. So some people that's normally leaving out on a Sunday morning, if they're already close to the Detroit, Michigan area, they might wait a lot longer before they leave, knowing that they got a whole Monday off. And I'm doing that by myself. And when I say by myself, I got people working with me, but it's not a motorcycle club doing it. And that's why I say you can do it. You don't necessarily need a club. You just gotta have that energy to say this is what I want to do, and I want to build up a following. I want to build up something, just like you got your group. You got your group, you built that up. People are following that group. People are watching it. You gotta have it in your mind and set yourself a goal. Even if it's not something big, you might not be able to start off with a 3-day weekend. You might start off with an independent party that just is a welcoming thing to the bikers. I just put that out there because when you say you can't, you can. You just gotta have that mindset to wanna do it, and
Right.
have people that want to help you do it. Because I did a lot of it by myself, but then you grow and you're going to need people, but you're going to have people that's going to be willing to support your movement anyway, to be a part of it, man, because it's great. You're going to have your guys that rides with you. You're going to have the people that's in different clubs. They want to help build something because, hey, it's people coming to where we're at now. Well, let's show them our hospitality. And then you're going to have a few that's, the naysayers, but I feel like if you think your town needs to do that and wants to do that, and that's something that can be done, squeeze the trigger. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, man? Even if it's not as successful, don't give up. You try again, and it'll grow.
Oh,
Just like
absolutely.
just like your thing
Absolutely.
in April, that can be a stepping stone to do something else in July, and keep building. You don't necessarily need a motorcycle club for that. You're not a motorcycle club looking for all motorcycle support. You're looking to throw something for the bike community where they can feel comfortable by letting their hair down without having to feel like I got to go somewhere with the mean mugs. I got to worry about being stabbed. I got to worry about my colors being taken. It's open to everybody. And most MC
Right.
clubs and bike clubs, they understand that and they respect that. They leave the problems at home, at least in my area, because I
Right.
don't know your area like that.
Well,
So
that's the same thing. Well, I'm gonna say for what we've done in Ocean City, the one time that we did it in Norfolk, we've never had any issues whatsoever. And we've welcomed all walks of the MC world, biker world, independent riders, even social clubs. We welcome everybody, so we haven't had any issues. Our event that we do in April has definitely grown and continues to grow. Um, I think that the consensus is to keep it in the Ocean City because that's where we started it at. But I really want to try to move it around to give people outside of the Eastern Corridor the opportunity to show up and have a good time for once. We had some young ladies that rode from Detroit to our event. I can't think of their names, so they rode, and I was really surprised they got on their bikes and they rode down. And April's a pretty cold month to be riding from Detroit,
Now we
but
got
they
some
rode
real
all the way.
riders in Detroit. We
So
got some real riders out here. These women, they ain't playing around, man. Hell, shoot, man. Some of these women, they out riding these guys around here. They
oh,
are
absolutely.
not playing around. Hey,
I'm telling you,
the
man.
men ain't got nothing on them. Some of these men should be ashamed of themselves because these women, man, they buying they Harley Davidsons or whatever choice of bike they want to ride. They invested money into their bikes and they actually riding their bikes. They're on the highway. They're on the ground. Damn, forget that trailer. I'm riding my bike.
Absolutely.
And they doing their thing, man. You know, salute to all them women out there that's constantly riding. You making some of these guys look bad.
Absolutely. It's plenty of them out there. I know it's some that outride me. Um, and I think when it comes to ride, it all comes down to time and resources. If you got the time and the resources, you can definitely ride. And I try to tell, I know it's always a big debate crossing state lines. But I'm telling you right now, I've ridden across plenty of state lines and the road never changed, not one time. The road from Virginia to North Carolina did not become a different road. It did not magically become something different, which, you know, became mystical and I was afraid to ride. So it's nothing wrong with getting on your bike and just ride. Just get on it and ride and ride and ride. If you can do that. Some people not built to ride. But if you able bodied and you have a competent machine that can get you from point A to point B, what's the big deal as far as putting gas in it and just riding on the damn thing?
Yeah. And
So
then you got some people, like you say, they just not built to ride. Some people got these motorcycles just to have fun in the city. They didn't have no thought to ride somewhere. They didn't even know people was riding motorcycles cross state lines. And then when they got their bike, you got half of them that's like, hey, I want to do that. And you got the other guys or women that's like, listen, man, I ain't bought my bike to do all that. I bought my bike to save gas, to go from home to work and spin around the city. You do got different type of bikers.
right, right. Well, I think I'm a combination of everything. I like pretty bikes. I try to make my bike pretty. I like sound competition stuff. I try to put a little sound in it. I like to pound a little bit, so I got some engine work done on it. You know, um, I think that I personally think I'm a well-rounded biker. Uh, that I could navigate in all segments of the bike community. I know how to conduct myself around the MCs and the OMCs. I know my place as far as is when I'm out in those type of areas in that arena to be able to navigate. Some people don't have an understanding on how to navigate on the set, and that's how you get yourself in trouble. But you can't get yourself in trouble if you just minding your own damn business. You
Yeah, and
mind
that's
your
what a
own
lot of
business,
people
stay out
need
of
to do.
everybody's business. Hey, you good. You
Absolutely.
know, that's just
Absolutely.
all to it.
Now, what do you think? Because I want to talk about the ladies. I always try to, talk about the ladies, give them their shots out, man. What do you think about these women who are out here investing the time and the money into their machinery? And I know that you
And it's
came
it's
on
a
the bike.
beautiful.
I know that you came out here, 2008 ish, and they were out here before that on them crotch rockets. But to see them evolve into what they are now, and to see so many women out here, man, what's your take on that?
I'm telling you right now, I think it's a beautiful thing. Being the creator of Men and Women Love the Rides, I do get a intimate understanding of a lot of people's stories because they will confide in me as far as they bike life, and then you get to know a lot of people. But I think it's an incredible thing when you see these ladies on these big ass machines tricking them out, putting music on them, and not only that, but they riding them hard and they pounding them out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's really, really impressive. And it's just so many different ladies out there that's just riding, you know. It's one of the things that kind of tripped me out when I was in Daytona and I was looking around and I see, and actually I found out the couple is from your city, Detroit. The man, I'm assuming that's the husband, but he had a green
Yeah, he had a
street
green
glide.
street glide. She had the road glide. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I know
Hey,
exactly who you talking about.
hey,
He
I
had the
saw them pull
sounds
up.
going. Talk about
I
it.
saw him pull up. I'm like, damn. You know, I saw her pull up on that big thing. First thing I'm looking at, I was like, I don't even think I could ride it. I'm standing there, and she pull up on the bike. He was behind her. I'm like, man, how in the hell is she ride that big ass wheel? You know,
Yeah.
she got it now. She rode it in there. You know, so that's the first thing I thought to myself. I said, you know, I'm pretty sure her skill level is much better than mine because you know, although I have a 21 on my bike, I ain't never rode a 30. I I don't even know if I could ride a bike with a 30-inch wheel on it. I don't know. I never attempted.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
they was looking. I'm sure I didn't see them, and I still yet to see both of the bikes in person. And yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. They close to us, so I know seeing them in person, man, and you seeing man and woman, two twin bikes, you know, street glide, road glide, painted the same color, both of them pretty much done the same with sounds. I know that had to trip you out, man.
Yeah, it did. I'm telling you, it just stuck out in my head when I saw him. That's what I mentioned. I said, you know, and I really did look around because I'm telling you, soon as I got back, I was looking at those bikes down there. As soon as I got back, I ordered me the CVO fender for my bike.
Yeah,
I already sent it off to the painters to be painted. I'm like, okay, then that's one thing. These ladies or just anybody in customization, it's gonna make you spend some money anyway. And I think that's a great thing about this bike life is that you see different bikes, you get different ideas, and then you can customize and make the bike into your own creation and you know it has its own individual flair, and that's what I love about it, man. That's what I love about it. I love everything about motorcycles, from the smell of that fuel when you starting it up to that exhaust, that sound. You know,
yeah.
I really get excited being around motorcycles. I really get excited about being around people that enjoy motorcycles. So that's the reason why when I see people and they all frown up on a motorcycle. I'm like, maybe you got the wrong hobby. Because if this thing is not making you happy and you around here mean mugging and you mad at the world, you need to go get into something else that's gonna make you happy, that's gonna put a smile on your face. That's what being around motorcycles, being a biker does for me on a daily basis. It really do put a smile on my face and it really makes me happy. And I think that's what is, you know, that's what life should be all about. It's doing things that you enjoy on a daily basis to allow you not to have that stress level to build up. Then it's going to allow you to live longer.
Oh yeah, you know, less stress will have you living a lot longer, man. Definitely that, man.
That's,
That's huh?
I said that's what I'm saying. Riding these motorcycles, man, you should really be in your happy place if you got a nice smooth bike. You out there riding and you're around your biker friends.
Yeah. Do your state do y'all had a helmet law or no helmet law?
We do.
You got the
We do
helmet law,
have a
okay.
helmet law. Yeah,
Okay.
but honestly, man, I would wear my lid regardless. You know, my thing is when I did go down in Cincinnati, I had my helmet on. I remember as the bike was pulling me down the hill, my helmet was rubbing up against the asphalt. I remember lifting my head up, but if if I didn't have a helmet on, it probably would have ground my head down to the nub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
So
get it.
you know, I will always wear a helmet. You know, every rally that I've been to, I always start off like, yeah. the times I went to Myrtle, I was faithfully going to Black Bike Week until we'll have to do another topic as far as that. I'll never do that again. Every year that I went, I would start off and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna wear my helmet." Then by the end of the day, I'm like everybody else, helmet off and riding around.
You know, I
2 weeks
never
ago
rode a
in
helmet,
Daytona,
and I never rode with a helmet in Myrtle Beach. Never.
well, I never did either. But in Daytona, I said to myself, "Look, you gonna wear your helmet the whole time?" I wore my helmet the entire time.
So is
I wore my
Daytona
lid.
a
I
no
just made a
helmet state?
conscious. Yeah, Florida's a
Oh,
no helmet state.
okay.
So I wore my lid the entire time. I didn't even get tempted not to wear my lid. I just think I just got too much at stake. And like I said, once you go down, and God forbid that any of the viewers or listeners go down, but once you've gone down, and you start thinking about the mistakes that you made. Like I said, I ain't trying to. If I go down, I at least want to have some protection on my head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I remember Michigan. We had it's always been a helmet state. Then they passed the no helmet law. I forgot what year, maybe 2012, 13. And we went a long time without wearing helmets. But then a lot of our friends, when they went down, they had some closed head injuries. And a lot of people started to get spooked, man. And then that was like the transition from the we used to wear the novelty helmets on the Harleys before they passed the law. And when they passed the law, we went to no helmets, and then we started to wear the full face helmets. It was a thing that, with time, everything changes. You go with the flow of what's current. And the full helmets became the new norm. And for me, I got to put my
Right.
helmet on, primarily because I'm self-employed. So if I go down, Lavish goes down, and I'm not going down just because I'm having fun when I know that I can protect myself, which, anything is possible to happen. But I'm going to play it a lot
Absolutely.
safer.
Absolutely.
I want to play it a lot
Well,
safer by protecting myself.
yeah, because you just never know what could happen. But as far as me, I know that's one thing about the Harley scene and all the guys in my crew. They pretty much wearing full face helmets, but I don't. I don't wear a novelty helmet. I wear a DOT half shell. I just don't like nothing all over my face though. So
Okay.
I just can't do it. I just can't. So I wear a DOT um, half helmet, and actually I got it right here, it's sitting right here. As my friends say, it's a mushroom type helmet or whatever. Hold on.
You got the chips. You got the chips.
Yeah.
Hell,
Hey, I like my helmet though. You know, I just can't. I can't do that full face, man. I started to buy one because I was like, all right, I'm riding Daytona. I wanted to buy one, and I went and tried them on. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I
it
don't want
take
nothing all over my cheeks.
it takes a minute. It takes a minute to get used to. Um, but outside of it being heavy, and you gotta, let your neck get used to that that weight. It's a comfortable helmet. When you don't want the wind in your face, you got the helmet down. I got the modular helmet. When you
Right,
want the
right.
air blowing, I lift the helmet up. Um, when I'm on the when I got my headset in and I'm need to communicate, I close my helmet down. I got my microphone right there, and I'm talking. And then with the newer Harleys, and I think even some of the other Harleys, or if not, the bike itself, they got the Bluetooths in the helmet, and I'm riding down the road, chatting and looking, not being distracted or any of that kind of stuff. Um, I like the full helmets. I like the full helmets now. Like I said, it took me a minute to get used to them. And anybody that has not been wearing one, it'll take a few rides to really get used to wearing that big old heavy thing. And then when it rains,
Well, I
it
need
makes a big difference in that rain.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, I don't know. Our next big ride, I think we're gonna do. Well, I know we're doing the roundup, and we had the ride to Milwaukee scheduled for the 120th,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that ride because I want to go to the roundup. I've never been to the roundup before, and I'm trying to count my days. I know I'm going to Aruba, Soul Beach weekend, and on Aruba for Memorial Day weekend, so I'll be down there. So I don't think I'm gonna make the 120th to Milwaukee, um, because I just don't have the vacation time. Because that following 2 weeks later is the roundup, and I'm definitely going to the roundup. I've never been to
Okay,
a roundup before, so I'm looking forward to it.
okay. I'm on the fence about the roundup and that 120th anniversary thing. They keep talking, different people keep talking it up on me. Um, they keep mentioning it to me. A lot of the content creators, they keep asking, "Am I going?" And I'm saying, I don't know. So with people asking, and I know that it's gonna be big, I'll probably find some type of way to end up getting down there so I can get a lot of content. The roundup, I don't know if I'm going. I'll be going to Memphis for pound. Don't know if I'll be going back down there for the roundup, but if my club chooses to go, I might go down there, and that be my reason to get down there. I've never been to a roundup either,
Right.
so it'd be the
So let
first.
me say, pound for pound is the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah, this year's gonna fall that last. It's the first week of June, but I know they got May 30th to the second or something like that. But it's that first June weekend.
I never been to their event either. I would like to check it out. I would like to check it out. You know, the thing is I just think it would be cool to at least some of these big events, you know, to go them and check them out at least one time. I know right now the big thing is everybody's doing that I-10 to the end ride. I wouldn't mind doing that, but it's all contingent on PTO for me. If I had a
Okay, so
PTO to do it,
so
you
so
know.
so the I
uh,
10 to the end. Explain that right. I'm not too familiar with it.
well, what they doing is, and I'm not super familiar with it. Also, I think what they're doing is they've riding I-10 from East Coast to Cali and back and take a picture. So you hit a lot of states. I'm assuming that's what it is. But I
Okay.
know I had this one biker mention to me, he's like, you wouldn't mind making this I-10 to the end next year. I wouldn't mind trying to go for that. I think it'll be a pretty cool ride.
Okay.
I'd never ridden the West Coast before. I've
Yeah, I
been up and
haven't.
down the East Coast.
Yeah, I've been up to the east, up 75 over to New York. I haven't went past St. Louis. Going west.
Right.
I never really had a desire to though. It's not that I wouldn't or I couldn't. I just personally just never had a desire. But then that's the type of riding that I do. I'll go somewhere if I have to be somewhere. I'm not gonna ride just to say I rode there. I gotta me personally. I gotta have a purpose. Um, if they say Lavish, the club is going here. We need to go there. Okay, cool. I'll go. If they're saying, hey, we're going here for this, but I don't knock anybody and how they ride. But if it comes down to me riding somewhere just to for bragging rights, I don't. It's not my thing. It's not my
Gotcha.
thing. Yes, it's definitely
I
not
just
my
think
thing.
I think with more me, I don't think it would come down to bragging rights, but I just think that the opportunity to be in God's country and just to look around and you know take a look at the environment and the atmosphere and just smell the different smells and different sounds. Hell, you're making a memory, man. You're making a memory. You're taking a mental picture and you're soaking it all in. and you just enjoying it. Just like I would love to do Sturgis one day. My thing is that I already got a plan. If the Lord bless me to make it at 62, I'll be fully retired from everything, which means
Okay.
I got 6 more years. I retired from the military when I was 38, 39,
Okay.
38 to 39. I've been retired. I did 21 years in the Navy. You know, uh, I'll be able to draw my, Social Security at 62 and all that other good stuff. So that's it for me. So if the Lord bless me to be in decent health and be above earth at 62, then I don't have to worry about, you know, clocking in nowhere. I'm gonna get out there and ride a lot.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't mind riding the West Coast just to say, well, not even just to say, but to do it for the scenery, as a trip to just sightsee.
Oh yeah. Well, you can always do it in correspondence with I think it's Red Breed main chapter out of California.
Yeah.
Don't they have a big annual out there?
Yeah, they got it. They got a big annual. In California, they have some big parties, man. I mean, the West Coast, they have some big parties too. They have some big parties. I've been over there to party over on the West Coast as well. And I like they thing.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. I would like to, if you did in conjunction, if someone had an event, you made the ride or whatever the case may be, get over there, hit the event, then bring it on back. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Listen, we've been on here a little over an hour. I'll try not to, talk all night. Um, just enough to really just kick it, man, and have people, have people interact with each other, man. That's the purpose of what I
Most
do when I'm
definitely, most
when
definitely,
I'm on here,
most
and I'm
definitely.
hoping, people, especially in the group that you manage as an admin, and people see you outside of just posting. I pay attention to you because I see you when you post your live, your videos up. I paid attention all while you was down there in Daytona. Like I say, man, we done corresponded before the podcast, but it's always
Most
good.
definitely.
Yep, it's always good when people can actually see that individual that they see the name and they see a post all the time, and for them to actually hear a person say, "Oh man, that's the guy Ellis, man. You're a cool guy, man. I was listening to his story, man." And it might be motivational to someone out there that's listening. You never know what a person get when they watching and they listening to these podcasts and they hearing these stories and they hearing what they went through and what made them join a club, what made them buy a bike, what made them want to ride, and safety issues, and I mean all kinds of different things. Different people take from these stories and from these podcasts, and it's just a great way to build a network, a greater network with an individual. Because if you come to Detroit, instead of you coming to Detroit not knowing anybody, I need you to feel comfortable with saying, "Hey, let me call Lavish. Let me tell Lavish I'm coming to Detroit. I want to know what's going on in Detroit. What's happening? Where should I go? What should I do?" And we built a relationship and a bond just from having the same hobby, motorcycles, and take it, elsewhere, man. And that's just what networking and relationship building
Most
is all
definitely.
about. That's
Most
what it's all
definitely.
about.
Well, and the funny thing about it is that a couple of years ago, when I was kind of watching when you was doing serving warrants, when you was serving people papers or whatever, and I asked my cousin that lives in Detroit. I was like, "You ever heard of Lavish?" She was like, "He got a tow truck." So I was like, "Yeah." So she knew who you were. I got quite
Yeah.
a few first cousins that live in Detroit,
Okay.
so they knew who you were. So um, and actually, I'm trying to tell you right now. My uncle was in Detroit. He was hustling. He was a big time hustler back in his day, and his sons was hustling, doing they hustle thing on. And my first cousin, He hustled. He was hustling, and you know how it is when you're in that lifestyle. If you're doing bad things will come to you. So um he met his but anyway, um it didn't end well for him, let me just say that.
Okay.
So you know, but definitely, man, I've been watching you. I love what you do on a daily basis. Like I said, to me, you are a philanthropist. uh you delve in everything from politics to feeding the homeless to feeding the homeless to actually having bike events, um, your tow truck business, your car wash business. You know, so the thing of it is that you know you're a well-rounded person, a positive influence, and anytime that you want to have a dialogue with me, I promise you, I'll make myself available and we can talk and chop it up, and we can definitely come up with some ideas, and maybe we can do something, collaborate, and you do something in the 757, and we'll get some people from Detroit to come down to the 757 so we can have us a big old event down here.
Man, you know what? And that's another thing that I'm trying to do, man. I want to network with people in all other cities. I got Chicago, I got Cleveland, man. We working together doing some stuff this summer. And I'm trying to extend myself and pop up in different cities and do different things within the bike community and hold these different events, man, and do a lavish bike night in the 757, do a lavish bike night in this city over here, man, and bring people together and just have a great time based upon motorcycles, because that's our hobby. So you know, you never know what might happen, man, between me and your city, man, in years to come.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what it comes down to, man. We all have that passion, that love for motorcycles. And I think that if people really think about it, singularly think about it, our differences can be worked out because we love motorcycles. We already have that one singular passion. Focus on that singular passion and everything else will fall into place. You know, it don't become as important, you know, to beef about whatever you beefing about, you know, because I don't want to go into details of whatever the case may be. But, you know, it's just about just bringing people together. And it's so much fun when you bringing people together, vice been in a situation where it's hostile and it's a volatile situation and anything could pop off, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, let me go ahead, man. I want to go ahead and I want to end this podcast, and I want to thank everybody that's listening, everybody that's been paying attention, everybody that's been following me, everybody that's been watching the channel. I want
It's
everybody
time for the lavish.
I want everybody to like. I want them to follow. I want them to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Lavish T Williams. I'm on all social media platforms at Lavish T Williams, man. So if you guys on the internet, go ahead, look me up, Lavish T Williams. Follow me, check me out, man. Appreciate my guy Ellis, man, coming from. Tell him where you at in the VA. I don't want to get it wrong.
757 Virginia Beach, half the
Virginia
roads of
Beach.
seven cities.
Man, what's the difference between Virginia and Virginia Beach? I always wondered that. Is it a
Well, Virginia
difference?
is a state. Virginia is a state. Virginia Beach is a city in the state.
Okay, got you. Okay, got you. All right. Now I get it. Okay, now I get it. That's cool, man. That's cool. And remember, I got the Lavish Day weekend coming up. That's September 1st to the 3rd. And I'm looking for people that's watching. Come out here, support. Come to Detroit. Detroit, we want to see you. Detroit comes and we pull up at all these different cities. We show out, and we looking for people to come to our city, man, and support this big 3-day event that we putting together. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you again for coming on the podcast, man. I want to go ahead. I want to end this show, but make sure you follow me and like this channel. It doesn't cost you anything to do, and it just helps build the channel up, man. Spread the word so we can network, and I'm looking for more and more people to constantly get on the podcast and just share their story, share who they are. They passionate about these motorcycles, man. It's nothing but love, nothing but love, man. So, Ellis, man, I want to go ahead and I want to let you go. Like I say, I
All right, my
appreciate you
brother.
for giving me your time tonight. And all that other cool stuff, man. Sharing your stories, man. And we'll be in their group, chatting and posting stuff as well. Hold on, stop right there. Stop right there. This is important, and I know I want to end it and get out of here. But you do to show love to different bikers from all over, and we got to talk about this. I missed that. Every day, you're always putting a new cover up in the group, spotlighting
Right.
somebody, man. So how did that come about? And share that with us. How did that come about?
Um, one day I did it, and I just thought about doing it one day, and I never forget it. This girl contacted me, and she was like, I showed it to my mom and all my families and friends, and I really thank you for making me the cover biker. And honestly, it was no thought to it whatsoever. And once I saw the response that I got from her being a cover biker, I made it a mainstay of what we do on a daily basis, to try to change the cover out every day to give somebody a spotlight, to give an opportunity for somebody to shine. So you'll get to know somebody that you don't know that you can maybe establish a friendship with, uh, and go from there.
Okay, cool. And I know, man, like it got to be a little bit of work because you got a lot of people there. What's one of your methods on picking a cover? Like, is it just a rabbit out of a hat, something that stood out? Like, what's one of the things that
It's
actually
just
catches your eye?
Well, what I try to do is I try to do male, female, and I try not to make. If you've been covered before, I try not to make you the cover because we got 34,000 people in the group, and I just look through and if I see a picture with somebody, on a motorcycle or whatever, I just pick that person. So it's just
Okay,
all random. It's no method to the madness. It's just a random pick, a luck of the draw, and as long as I got their name or whatever the case may be, put their name in there and ask the people to show them some love. So,
okay,
it's all
yeah.
random.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, because it make you feel good. When you see yourself and somebody acknowledge you
Oh yeah.
and you up there, it definitely is. It's a motivator. It's an encouragement type of thing. So yeah, that's cool. That's beautiful. Keep doing that.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Like I said, I really didn't understand the significance of it until this one girl named Latisse, from Richmond. I made her the cover, and she was so excited. She screenshot it. Oh, I sent it to my mom. I sent it to all my friends, and I thought to myself, like, okay, then we own this something. So we just
Yeah.
made it a part of our standard operating procedures for our group at that after that point.
Okay. No, that's cool, man. All right, now let me go ahead. I want to finally end this, man. Like I say, man, I appreciate you and all that other cool, good stuff, man. And we'll chat, man. I want to go ahead and end this Facebook, YouTube, man. Appreciate your time tuning in,
All
watching the
right, my
Lavish
brother.
Biker podcast. All right, now, sir, you have a good one.
All right, say to
Yeah.
you.
All right, now. We out of here, man. That was my guy Ellis, man, from Virginia, man, Virginia Beach, man. We gonna tune in. I'll catch you Monday, with a new guest. So appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Check out all the social media platforms at Lavish T Williams.